Anetons, connecting professionals.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about the device enrollment flow. Okay, so how does the enrollment works? Okay, behind the scenes, we will talk about it. There are certainly 18 steps. Okay, which contributes your machine and your company portal or your iOS, your Android devices. Okay, to connect with company portal and talk to each other. Okay, that is how it works. So let me know, do you guys aware of it? Like, how does this work? Any idea? Anyone knows about it? Or just tell me what is the simple flow if you like it's the first time you're enrolling a device. So what do you do? What steps do you perform? Please unmute yourself. And one more thing, I'm starting preparing for the interviews as well because a couple of you know students they are going for the interviews round, and good news for two candidates from our class. One got a good opportunity in SCL Tech. Okay, he was part of SCCM and Intune, so he is going to join SCL. And another guy who's also part of Intune, he was part of a previous batch, not this batch. He got a good opportunity in a in a top three uh, IT companies. Okay, so I would urge you to guys start preparing your interviews. Okay, and we will talk about the interview questions going forward because I think we almost if I go to the course, so almost 50% of the course is completed. So these two will tomorrow, or not tomorrow, maybe on Friday, we will cover these two and we'll cover almost 50% of this. Only your NDES is pending. I believe this is the one which is pending because I don't want to confuse you guys because this is a whole cumbersome. It takes lots of time, and also it's very confusive at state. So it's better, I would request you to take it aside for the time being. Okay, then we will start working on these areas. Okay, and meanwhile I want you to guys start preparing the interview questions and start appearing for the interviews. Okay, I'm also going to start from Friday onwards. I'll start preparation for the interview questionnaires, and I'll give you the questionnaires which you are required to be prepared when you are appearing for any interview. Okay, and I'll also talk about how to negotiate on the salary, and also how to prepare your interview and what things do you should consider while appearing for one-to-one, or maybe you doing online interviews. Okay, so be start working on your preparation because it's almost done, right? Almost 50% is covered, and these are the only essential parts which they question. Okay, most of the time they will talk about the co-management, they will talk about the Windows enrollment or normal enrollment process, how does work. So I will complete Android, Windows. Okay, these two are the essential parts which nowadays being into picture, and PKI, which is PKCS and NDES. So PKCS is most practical one, which is going to be discussed. So do refer all the videos which is already there on anectens.odoo.com. Also, I'm going to upload co-management, uh, co-management and flow of device enrollment, which we're going to talk about it today. And WIP I'll also cover in this shortly. So they will talk about this graph, PKCS, Windows Autopilot, Android Autopilot deployment. Then they'll talk about the AD Connect. Okay. Then how does the licensing work, and compliance policies, configuration profiles. These are the basic and primary questions every recruiter will ask. Okay, then they will talk about more on the BitLocker. Okay, then how does the SDK integration works and app wrapping. Okay, so these things they will check with you. Reporting, I don't think. Then RBAC is the main, and yes, migration part. Okay, so migration, they will not ask you if you are answering the basic question. Migration is something when you are going in the third or fourth round. Okay, then they will ask this. And if the level is something like L3 or L4, then the migration things will come. But I will cover everything because it is from beginner to an architect level course. And I'll start giving you the questionnaires which you are required to polish yourself and be prepared, and all these scenarios are already available. You go refer the videos, look for the demonstration, and seek a questions like why this is happening, what if I'm doing this, and if I change something this, then what will happen. Okay, keep on asking questions, that will help you. Okay, so let's start. Device enrollment flow. Let me know what is happening when you're doing the enrollment first time on your device. What are the steps do you perform? So Chidam, I think you were answering.
Yeah, I think we add the hash value on the Intune portal, and the
I'm talking
device.
about the general iOS or Android enrollment or Windows enrollment. So just give me common scenarios which are available on all the platforms.
Mm,
Okay, how many are aware of installing a company portal on your device first
Yeah,
when
yeah.
doing an enrollment? Yeah. So tell me that process.
So we install the application and we log in with our details by authenticating on the MFA and so on. Then it gets registered onto the portal.
Yeah, correct.
That
Then,
yeah, that will register the on the AD basically.
mhm,
S-
okay. So basically, you install a company portal, then you hit your enter your credentials. Okay. Then it automatically, in the background, it looks for the tenant, and then it creates the device ID, then it checks for the compliance, checks for the configuration settings, and then everything is okay, then it authenticates and gives you uh account, your device is enrolled. Okay, it is compliant, and then you get access to your company resources. Is that true?
Yes, yes.
Fine. So today we are going to talk about the flow of device enrollment. Okay, and then we will talk about the company portal log analysis. Like what are the logs which are crucial, which are important to troubleshoot. Okay, so we will have so this is basically, I was just referring to tried creating this in the phases. Okay, so this I'll just give the overview. Okay, so first of all, as we talked, we installed a company portal, and that in company portal will be initially checked. Okay, which user launching the application. Okay, then he logs with his credential. Then there is a device info which is being checked. Okay, then the integrity of the applications is checked. So integrity is, I'm talking about the company portal integrity. Okay, and then if this is something with the Apple, if you're doing it to iOS device, then Apple push notification service will be enabled here. Okay, and if you're doing Android, then Google Cloud messaging service will be there. That will verify the integrity of the application. Okay, that is phase one. Then phase two, the authentication. So how does the authentication works? You click you get the company portal sign in page, right, where you enter your login credential, your user principal name, UPN, right? So this user signs in, then Azure performs the home realm discovery, and this home realm discovery we'll talk about in the next slide. Then authentication happens, okay, and Azure AD, or it's your on-prem, then it's ADFS, which is your on-prem directory services federation service, okay. Then there is a registration happens. So that registration happens when the token is issued, and token is issued where Azure AD issues a security token. Okay, device saves that token, then it register to Azure AD. If it's workplace join, then it will go to hybrid join. Okay, otherwise it will be intra joined. And the fourth part is Intune enrollment and management, where your Azure sends a discovery URL, okay, to which device generates a certificate, and then Intune stamps that certificate, says that yes, now this is your device, Intune device ID. I'm not talking about the entire device ID. I'm talking about the Intune device ID. Okay, here it gets generated. Then there is an encryption certificate which is there on the device, and then compliance checks that is performed, and that is how the flow works. Okay, this is how the so this is divided into 4 phases. Okay, now we'll go more into deep. So this is where you see that your user, as a user, okay, you entering a login credential. Okay, this is where you enter the login credential. Then what happens to realm discovery? Okay, so what is here realm discovery? Actually, it means that uh, this is your cloud. Okay, this is your uh, Azure cloud. Okay, and this is your, for example, this is your tenant. There are like multiple tenants available. Okay, all right, and this is your tenant. Okay, the green one. So what realm discovery happens, what it does, okay, as soon user enters the UPN, his user principal name, okay, Azure initiates a home realm discovery which is called HRD, okay. This identifies that this specific user, for example, I am a, okay, I am a user, okay, and I am now connecting to Azure. Now Azure will help me. This is the HRD for this user, and it will connect me here. Okay, this is how I'm connecting. So user principal, as soon user principal name is entered, so how does that user know that this is my home tenant? Okay, so this is where the home realm discovery comes into the picture, which is part of Azure, which initiates an identification for that user to identify his specific home tenant. Okay, and once it's realize that this is the home tenant, then it will perform the authentication. Okay, so Azure does not uh, does not have any mechanism to save any sort of credential. Okay, it does not carries any protocol or any database or anything, okay, so that it can save the credential and it can uh, easily authenticate directly over there. But it is just a mechanism. It routes that tenant when the user is entering the credential, and then that credentials gets connected for that user, so that user, it is like I have a key, okay, and I have a keychain. I have a person, or I have a security guard who is sitting outside, and he does not know which room I should be getting in, but he will ask you whether you have a key. And if I say yes, I have a key, then he is already having a pair of keys. He's having a bunch of keys with him. So what he will do, it is simply like, I'll tell you, like this is key. Okay, for example, this is a key, and this person who's it's me who's trying to sign in. Okay, so I will come to security guard. Okay, he's already having a key it will pair both the keys. Okay, if he confirms that yes, the key pair is successful, then he will allow me to connect to my home tenant. Okay, this then it will allow me to enter to this room. Okay, that is how it works with HRD. So this HRD is home realm discovery, which identifies what is the home tenant for that user, and once he authenticate by the keys, okay, because Azure does not save it, so then it checks the credential, it verifies both the keys, and then it allows users to connect to the right tenant. Okay, that is the thing, that is called home realm discovery. What happens next then? Once the identification is happening, home tenant is found, okay, the user will be prompted for a password, and you might see that there is a background change that will happen. Okay, so as soon he enters the password, there is an authentication mechanism which runs in the background. Okay, that authentication mechanism, if it is coming from the AD Entra ID, okay, so it will directly route to authentication here. And if it is coming to ADFS, okay, then authentication method will route from here. Okay, so first thing, it will go to on-prem AD, okay, federation service. It will check if the user belongs to this area or not, and if the user having the password right, if the license is assigned, everything will be checked, and then it will redirect to ADFS. ADFS will authenticate via the DC domain controller. Then ADFS will issue a SAML token. Okay, so this token will be issued by by the AD, and then it will authenticate. It will come here. It will say that yes, AD authentication is successful, or Azure authentication is successful. And then after the successful authentication, user will see the device is start getting the enrollment, and the device will be enrolled successfully. Okay, so this is the overlook. This is how, this is also not in deep. Okay, this is just overlook how does thing work. Right. Okay, so just keep remember this flow chart. Okay, because I'm going to discuss more in depth in the next slide, so ensure that you are taking a screenshot, because I'll also cover this in the documentation. All the documentation, like for co-management, pending. I know, pending for what was the last thing. So co-management, I think these documents are pending, so I'll cover and I'll upload it to anectens.odoo.com. So shortly you will have all the documentation with the flow chart and everything is aware. I was not here in, I was out of station for the family vacation. So though I did manage classes, but yesterday when I returned, I wasn't feeling well. So now I will work on all the documentation. Will share shortly as soon as possible. Okay. So now let's talk more in deep. Okay. Now let's understand. So what is happening in the background, right? So first thing first, device enrollment will be for the Intune. How does it involves? First thing, you download the company portal. Okay, so the user opens the company portal app to start the enrollment process. That is the first thing. So be it Android or iOS, okay, user need to download and launch the company portal application. That is the first thing. Okay, Windows device do not need or do not use company portal app for the initial enrollment. Okay, so this is not required. Company portal is not required for your Windows, but it is required for your your Android and iOS. Okay, so first thing, your user downloads the company portal. Then what is happening next? So next, this login begins. This is where the app starts capturing the logs for troubleshooting and tracking. So this is how every step is now being captured. Okay, first thing, once the initial device, the company portal steps is started running, okay, then it will start the downloading of the logs, which user is downloaded this and what is the timestamp, everything is now captured. Then there is a push notification service connection. This is involved. So this notification service connection is required. You remember when we were doing Android setup, so we did connect with Google Cloud Messaging Service, right? So GCM we did connect, and for the Apple push notification, when you're doing an Apple enrollment device setup, then you require to set up a APNS. Okay, so this iOS device will connect to Apple push notification and Android will connect to Google Cloud Messaging. Okay, so that it can verify the application's integrity. Integrity means what? How does it knows? How does without the connection it will not know that what is the version? What is the supported version of company portal? Okay, then integrity integrity will be checked. Okay, so my bad. So integrity will be checked, like what is the version of that company portal application, whether is it genuine or not. Okay, what is the supported version, genuine or not. Okay, whether is it installed directly from the Play Store or was it downloaded from the third party website. Okay, it will check all these things. So if the integrity is not checked, maybe it will fall a security breach. Okay, that's why it ensures that whatever company portal application is being set up, it is genuine, it has a supported version, and there is a connection between APNS and for Google messaging, Google Cloud Messaging, so that it can connect to internet and can downloads the policies and others notifications from the service provider. Okay, clear? Then user signs in. Okay, so after these checks happens, the applications display a default sign in page to the user. Okay, so that is where the user gets the default page. Right, so the first thing is called device enrollment flow. This is where the first thing you download the company portal, okay, from the App Store, and this App Store is available on iOS, Android, and Mac. Okay, where you can go and download it. But for Android and iOS, user downloads and launch the company portal application once once it is downloaded from the App Store or Google Play Store. Fine. Then Apple push notification, as I talked about, it will check the supported version. Okay, company portal, is it downloaded from the third party or not? It will check the integrity. Then it will again check the uh, device operating system information as well. It will check what is the make and model number. Okay, I'll just mention, I didn't mention here, make. Okay, then it will check the model number. Okay, and then there will be a timestamp for this device. Okay, everything will be checked and the logs, these logs will be captured. Okay, here. Okay, so all this information happens. Now user gets the sign in page and he enters his login credential. Now next what is happening, it is coming to Microsoft Graph API. Okay, Microsoft Graph Service Connection Point. So this Graph API, as soon the sign in happens, okay, user gets the company portal, he gets prompted for sign in page. Then this sign in page, the Microsoft Graph API service, the company portal, actually this is a company portal. Okay, it connects to the Graph API. Okay, that is how it will connect to Intune services. Okay, so as soon I entered my UPN, okay, my user principal name, company portal will send this information to Graph API, and Graph API will run the background check. Okay, and it will ensure that the default page should be presented for the user principal name. Okay, if you click if you click on company portal and you just clicking on sign in page, so Graph API will identify like what is the default page that I should be giving to the user, so that it should allow user to notify that yes, this is the correct home. Okay, this is the tenant which I am going to log in, right? So now next come to the next. This is what I was talking about. This is a home realm discovery. Okay, this is the major thing. Once the Microsoft Graph API service connects, uh, to home realm discovery. So home realm discovery is by default initiated by Azure to identify what is the user's specific home tenant. Okay, this is especially for the users to identify that yes, this is your home tenant. You should not be logging to any other tenant, right? So this is determining that if user is managed by Azure AD or it's by the federated via ADFS. So any user who's just downloading a company portal should not be allowed to log in until he's tagged to a tenant. Okay, and that tenant discovery will be done by the home realm discovery, which is HRD. Okay, so this is a Azure service which is now initiated. Home realm discovery is run. It identifies what is the user's home tenant. Then it starts the authentication and other stuff. Okay, so Azure, let me remind again, Azure does not store user credential here. Okay, now home tenant then displays a customized company portal landing page. Okay, if we have configured company branding, okay, you remember we did set, right, company branding. So this is where we set sees the logos and other stuff whenever we are authenticating with the username and password. So this is where, if the company branding is set, okay, so this is where the company portal will start showing the company branding, and it will ask you to enter the it will ask you uh okay it this will ask you sorry this will ask you company branding will ask you to enter the password. So as soon I enter my login credential, okay, it identifies my home tenant. Okay, and you start seeing the logo you start seeing the logo like display here on the top, and you see the behind the logo, and this is where the uh, this is where the username, and this is where the password. So this, you after entering the UPN, okay, then it will identify, okay, this is the company, this is the tenant where the user needs to go, and then it asks you, sends you the organization branding page. Okay, so yeah, I mean, is it clear till here? If you have configured a company portal landing page, then you will be getting or I mean, I don't need to show this, guys, right? You know already. This is how it looks like. Or let me see if I have something here open. So see, this is what I'm talking about. This is my company portal page. Okay, and let me see. Let me have it dot on Microsoft.com. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Now I will enter sign in page. Okay, so now this Graph API is this company portal is now connected with Graph API. Okay, now when I'm clicking entering the sign in here, okay, HRD is not run here. Okay, this is where the home realm discovery is not done, and there is no way of identifying me where is my home tenant. Okay, now this is the tenant name. Okay, if you guys notice, now how would it know it? Now when I'm clicking on next, okay, after clicking the next, it will start fetching the home tenant information, and I have set a company portal landing page, so it will definitely show me a company branding. Okay, so if you see in the background, I have the company, let me do a full screen. So this is where it is showing me the background, like this is the anectance page and this is my logo. Okay, so how does it know about it? Because I have already set a company portal landing page, and if you did not have set it up, it will not appear. Okay, now it is asking me to enter my password. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, right? So this part is done. Home realm discovery is done. Now credential submission. So after, if like once I enter the password, now after entering the password, Azure will determine that the authentication through the authentication mechanism, it will ask me like which uh like where I'm coming from. Okay, if I am coming from, for example, this there will be a check. Okay, if I'm coming from Entra ID, or am I my account is there on prem. Okay, ADFS. Okay, so this is where the flow will be checked. Now, if I'm coming from Azure, so it will check the Azure AD secure token service, which is called STS. Okay, let me mention here. I think it's not STS. Okay, it's mentioned here, I believe, right? So this is the STS. So Azure STS, it is called Azure AD's secure token service. Okay, and if I am doing it on-prem, then it will check Azure Directory Federation Services, which is called ADFS. Okay, which is called ADFS, right? So ADFS will be checked when I'm doing it on-prem. Okay, there will be a Kerberos authentication as well if it is set. And if I'm doing it for Entra ID, it will directly go to Azure STS, which is nothing but Azure AD's secure token service. Okay, so these two things will be determined by the Azure here. Okay, it will check through these authentication mechanism and it will identify where I should be going for the next authentication. So if ADFS is used here, okay, so the request is redirected to ADFS. Okay, so if I'm from on-prem, then it will go to ADFS. Okay, this is where the domain controller okay, this is where the domain controller, okay, will act, and it will use as a SAML, okay, protocol, okay, which issues a SAML token which is sent back to Azure AD. Okay, I'll repeat again this process. This is very I mean, no one talks about these detailed authentication flows and everything. Okay, but when you going for the interview, okay, and if someone asks you what is happening in the background when you're doing a company portal enrollment, and if you're telling all these things, okay, he will be what do you say, he will be really astonished, and he will be seeing like the information you're giving is like a very high level of information. Okay, everyone knows only the simple process: you download the company portal, you enter the login credential, then it happens, runs check in the background, and that's it, and then authentication is successful, you got the device compliant, and that's it, and the policy is pushed and you can see the company resources. But this is a really detailed uh, authentication mechanism, detailed background behind the scenes. So do not forget everything, anything. I mean, though I'll give you the documentation as well that you can refer while doing the interview process, but ensures that whatever we are telling you, whatever telling you right now, please pay attention. Okay, do not think that I will refer the video later, because whatever question will come here now, you can ask in the video. It will remain like anywhere you are studying, but you can just refer the video, but you cannot ask the questions. This is where the opportunity you can ask the question and I can answer you at right away. Okay, so on-prem, I'll repeat again what is happening. On premises AD Federation service, which is Active Directory Federation service, will come into the picture when the device, when the user details is on-prem. Okay, so ADFS is used when the request is redirected to ADFS. Then there is an authentication that will happen through the domain controller using a SAML protocol. Okay, and that SAML protocol is issues a token. Okay, so this issues a token. Okay, SAML token which is redirected, which is reissued to Azure. Okay, here. And if you doing it, I mean, at this point, authentication is completed. Okay, this will confirm that user's credential is successful. If the user credential is mismatched or something wrong, okay, so it will give the error message. Let me see if I can show you something. So if I am just typing some random number, I'm trying to sign in. Okay. So it will come with the error message that this credential does not match. Okay, or error sign in timeout page, please sign in. So this is something that I'll try again with the wrong password. So it will definitely give me your account password isn't clear. If you don't remember, use the password to reset. Okay, so this is how it happens when you're doing a ADFS. Okay, when you're doing a AD, Active Directory Federation service. Okay, it will check the password for the authentication, and that password will be checked by the domain controller, and domain controller uses a SAML protocol. SAML protocol issues a SAML token, which is back sent to Azure AD, and that is where the authentication is successful and user gets the confirmation that he is able to log in. Now, when we're talking about the token issuance, okay, what type of token is issued here? Okay, I'm talking about this part. So though it's very detailed, we are not going to get more into deep. Okay, so following the successful authentication, so Azure AD issues various tokens to the devices, okay, which includes your access, which includes your refresh, your primary refresh, your family refresh, and MRRT. Okay, so these tokens are multi-resource refresh tokens. So these tokens are done in the background, which is issued to the device, not to the user. Okay, this is issued for the device for the various tokens and various mechanism. Okay, so we don't need to get into more, but just for your assurance, if you, even though if you're telling this to your interviewer that these tokens are being issued when the device user enters the password, and if once he gets successful log on, once he gets that successfully authenticated, then these tokens will be issued to that device by the Azure. Okay, so these tokens are saved. Let me type here. So these token, okay, these tokens are saved to device keychain. Okay, so these are the tokens which are saved now to your device keychain. So AT, RT, PRT, FRT, and MRRT, these are the tokens which are issued by the Azure after the successful authentication, and these are the tokens which are saved now to device keychain for for the successful authentication. Okay.
Hello, Vaibhav. Are you there?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear now.
Okay. Sorry, I just lost the electricity, so Wi-Fi switched. Uh, so where were we? Where did we last cover? Like, what did you guys hear?
Token issuance.
Token issuance completed, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll repeat again. I'm sorry, but because of electricity, so Wi-Fi got disconnected. So issuance of token is just rephrasing it again. So this will happens once the user successful uh, token issuance will happen once the credential is successfully authenticated. Okay, and Azure AD, okay, do sends these various tokens to the device, okay, which includes your access, your refresh, your primary refresh token, family refresh token, and multi-resource refresh token. So these tokens are essential, and these tokens are going to be sent to be saved to the chain. Any confusion, any questions, any doubt during these flows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I mean, I just say 10. So any confusion in these 10 steps? No? Are we good? Okay. So now let's talk about the uh, so token storage. We already talked about device keychain. Now let's talk about the workplace join. Okay. So what is workplace join? I think you guys know about it. What it is? So this is where the device undergoes workplace join, which is way of telling that now device will undergo a process which is called workplace join, which is simply a essential way of Azure AD registration. Now, in this process, device will get registered to Entra ID, okay, and is uh, now assigned a Azure AD device ID. Okay, so this is where the allocation of device ID will happen. Okay, so device registration complete. Okay, device is now AD registered. Okay, so how does AD register happens? Once the workplace join process will be completed, then Azure AD will send a device ID. Okay, how does this device ID will be uh, generated? So device ID will be generated here through the PKCS certificate. Okay, so PKCS, what does it do? Okay, PKCS generates a device ID which is called a public key ID. Okay, actually PKCS will create a certificate. Okay, and in that certificate there will be a public key. Okay, and that public key will become a Azure AD device ID. Okay, so how do you get the device ID? Once the device is getting a certificate which is issued by PKCS generator. Okay, and that generator gives the public key. I hope you guys paid attention to the PKCS video, okay, where we talked about the public key and private key, okay, and I think I already discussed what is the difference in between PKCS and NDES, which, where the private key resides and where the private key does not leave the device, okay. If you did not, then I think do refer that. Uh, so this is where I'm talking about. I'll upload everything so you guys should know about it. So now let me tell you how does the device ID gets generated. Azure AD device ID gets generated. Now Azure AD device ID is generated when the device is getting a PKCS certificate, okay, which contains a public key, which later becomes the device ID. Okay, this is where the device is now created in your Azure portal. Okay, now it is visible under the Azure AD devices. Okay, this is where you will see that this device is now registered and not yet managed by the Intune. It is just a registered device. Okay, registered means the entry is just created, but still there are various validation process which is still running in the background, and until that the device will be not marked as compliant or fully managed. Okay. So now after this, PKCS generated the public key which becomes the device ID, and this device is now shown under the Azure AD devices. Okay, this is where it starts seeing. Now, once the AD registration is successful, Azure sends a discovery URL. Okay, so this discovery URL, wait a second, let me remove everything from here. Okay, so what happens? Wait, what is happening with mouse? Okay, so now enrollment process will become, and this is where the MDM scope validation will be done. So how does this happens? PKCS generated a device ID, which is a public key ID. Now device is now AD registered. Fine. Enrollment process will begin. Then scope validation will be checked here. Okay. Here Intune will check if the device falls under the MDM scope or not. Okay. It means that it will check whether the user is got the valid Intune license or not. Okay, it will check whether the active enrollment or is there any restriction, enrollment restriction is applied for that user or device type or not. So this will be checked here initially. Okay, and I'm talking about the discovery URL. So how does discovery URL will work? Azure will send a discovery URL to the device. Okay, this discovery URL will come in .svc format. Okay, so this URL will end with .svc. Okay, I'll type here ending with, okay, or let me do it again, ending with .svc URL. Okay, so this URL will be sent to the device. Now this URL will act as a gateway. Okay, so this gateway will tell that device to connect to the Intune service based on the configured MDM scope for that user. Okay, what MDM scope we are talking about? This is where we are talking about uh, if the user is having a Intune license or not. Okay, if the uh, what I say enrollment and restriction enrollment restrictions are there not for that user or device. Okay, so each things will be checked here. This is called MDM scope. Okay, this is called MDM scope, and this will be checked. Any confusion, please ask me, because I know it's a little tricky here. Okay, but don't get confused, I'll make it very simple. Okay, after the enrollment process happens, your device ID is generated, which is done by the PKCS certificate. Okay, and PKCS issued a certificate. Then the discovery will run. Okay, and it will check the MDM scope. And if there is any failure happens, okay, during this, and if the MDM scope is returned as failed, which means that device will not be eligible to enroll forward, or the user will not be eligible if the license is not assigned to him. Okay, so that is where you need to check all these validation. Okay, having this validation checked, device Intune will give a pass certificate. Okay, it will say go green. Okay, I would say like in green. Okay, it will say like, okay, fine. Okay, okay, this will say pass. Okay, and this device will be stamped now. Okay, this device will be stamped with the certificate, giving a note of the public key and telling that now this device is okay for the further in. Okay, now the device will be now have an entry created the device ID in the Intune as well. Earlier, it was not part of the Intune portal. It was just part of AE registered. Okay, now this is where the enrollment will happen. Okay, and this enrollment will the device IE, and this enrollment will ensure that our device starts showing or appearing in the portal. Okay, this is the thing. So this is the essential part where the validation will be checked. Okay, and the device will be stamped as pass, and certificate is issued, and it's all okay. Okay, then the last step which is happening here, okay, that is called compliance and policy check. This compliance policy is what is happening here. So Intune will issue a SC online issuing certificate. Okay, this SC online issuing certificate is just like it is a certificate which is crucial for the encrypting all the subsequent communication between the Intune service portal and the enrolled device. Okay, so this certificate ensures that yes, all the communication which is happening, which is being secure, which is like encrypted, and all the subsequent communication is happening in between services Intune and enrolled device. Okay, this certificate is really essential and very crucial. Okay, this is a question that is being asked in the interviews as well. Which certificate at the end ensures that the communication is secure or encrypted for your enrolled device and your Intune service. So this is SC online issuing certificate. Okay, so this is the certificate which is still valid for Android and iOS. Okay, next, the device is now enrolled to Intune. Okay, what is the final step here? So now the final step is, now initially it will check the compliance. Okay, whether the device is uh, marked as compliant status as yes or no. Okay, so if the compliance is failed, okay, so device will be marked as non-compliant. For example, when we were doing the Windows enrollment, we did not have any compliance policy set, right? So at that point, device will be straight away marked as non-compliant. But if we are setting a compliance policy, so here we will set uh, whether you have a minimum version or maximum version, whether you want to allow a dedicated operating system, and all these information you can mention in the compliance. Okay, if the password set, you can do like if that password should be 8-digit character, it should be alphanumeric, it should not be repeated of last 3 attempts, maybe lots of things that you can create as a compliance policy. And once the compliance policy is determined, the device compliance status will be checked. Okay, and this is where it will reflect in the Intune portal whether the compliance is successful or not. Okay, there is one flag, okay, that is attached here, which is called is managed. Okay, this flag will be associated, which is now setting as true. Okay, so this flag will ensure that yes, the compliance is evaluated. Okay, and if it's evaluated, it will check the in compliance policies and everything. And if everything is evaluated, then it will set as true, and then we will see the Intune showing this device is successfully registered and is showing compliant. Okay, so this is the entire step. Any questions in between? Did you understand, like, now you understood this flow chart, right? Is it now easier to identify?
Yeah,
Yes, Vaibhav.
yes, Vaibhav, it's clear.
Any
Yes, Vaibhav.
confusion? Okay, let me ask you this. What is happening here? Okay, at this time, what is happening? What is happening at this time during this authentication process?
When user authenticate to the device, it first
Mhm.
check in the on-prem ID. Okay,
Yep.
sorry, in Forest first, and then
Mm-hmm.
it will reach out to on-prem domain controller, and
Mm-hmm.
later on it get register in the Azure AD.
Right. So there is one thing that happens. It issues something, right? The
Yeah,
domain controller issues something, some certificate, some token.
SAML.
yeah, it's Salmon, correct.
Right. So SAML token is issued by your DC. Okay. And then it sends that to Azure, telling that this is the token. So SAML token is something. Uh, I mean, I don't want to get into more deep into it. It's like more about the security. Okay, this is especially serves as an identity card. Okay, as simple as that. So when you visiting to your office, you get an identity card. If identity card is not there, then you will not be authorized to enter in the premises. Simple as that. So for any single sign-on, okay, which is done by the user for authentication and authorization, okay, system, how does system will know about that this user is the right user or not? Okay, and how does uh, the integrity will be checked. Okay, how does the digital signed certificate will be checked for that user's identity and will grant the access, okay, for certain applications or services which is provided by the organization. So this is by the SAML token. Okay, SAML token is something, security assertion markup language, something like that. You just go and Google it, you'll get it now. So this token is simply you what I say, issuing a identity card by the sample by SAML token. Simple as that. Okay, no confusion. Straight away answer. If anyone is asking what is happening when during the authentication flow, when user uh, enters the password, okay, what is happening next? So in that next, if the user belongs to on-prem, uh, on-prem, then it will go to the forest. Okay, check the federation services. From there, it will connect to domain controller. Domain controller will check and identify. It will issue a SAML token, and that SAML token will be sent to the device. And that is how the device will be authenticated, and that user will be confirmed that he is at the right tenant and his authentication is completed. Okay, that is the thing. Then token issuance. So token issuance, we talked about it. What it does, it's all these tokens are sent to devices or users. Devices or user. To whom these tokens are issued to.
Devices.
Right. So these are sent to devices so that the device, and where does it save it to? Which location? Where this token going to save?
Keychain.
Keychain, right. Okay, so these are the questions that you might get when the interviewer is asking where the tokens are being saved. So these are saved in the keychain, right? Okay, next. So what is called workplace join? What is happening here? It's what? What is happening? So this is where the device is being registered. Okay, device is being registered, and there is a device ID which is going to be assigned. Okay, so these two things is happening here. Enrollment process will happen once the device is registered, and there is a token, or I would say device ID, okay, will be given to that device. So how does that device ID will be generated? Okay, so device ID will be generated through a PKCS certificate. And in that PKCS certificate, what does it carry? Is it public key or private key? Which one gets the device ID, becomes the device ID?
Private.
Sorry, which one? Private key or public key?
It's a private.
So this is where the PKCS generators come into the picture. Okay, it will create a certificate. Okay, and that certificate carries a public key, which becomes a device ID later. Okay, now this this public key is the crucial one. Okay, that is where it gives the device ID. This is where the this is generated by your PKCS. Okay, this certificate carries a public key, which becomes a device ID. Okay, don't get confused here. And this is where you can see the device in the Azure AD devices. Okay, which will show that device is registered or not registered. Okay, and this will not be appearing in Intune until. Okay, this is just there is an entry created that yes, ID card is done. Now you are eligible to enter into the premises, but you're not eligible because your compliance is not checked. You're not eligible for the corporate resources because your configuration profile, whatever is set, okay, whether you are HR, you are a marketing person, it is not checked yet. Okay, that security guard has just checked your device ID, which is your ID card, and it has just allowed you to enter in the premises. You can roam here and there, and you can sit anywhere, in the bench, or you can visit to the garden, wherever you want, you can go. Okay, but you're not eligible to enter into a specific room where until we check whether you are sales, marketing, HR, IT team, whatever you are. So this is not yet, Intune yet not figuring it out. Uh, I have no idea about your details. Okay, it is just still it's in Intra ID and in your Azure AD devices where you can see this device is now registered. Okay, now will be a validation check will run. Okay, this validation check, it will check whether you are having the right license or not. Okay, means you are a part of marketing team, sales team, wherever you want to go, you should be validated first, and then it will check for the restriction means whether you are not carrying your personal laptop, whether you're not carrying something which is not you know eligible, or you're not required to carry that inside. Okay, that restriction will be there. So now here with the device, the enrollment restriction will be something different. Okay, you will be allowing only 5 devices or 6 devices per user. Okay, if user is trying to enroll more devices, it will not allow. Also restriction for the minimum OS version or maximum OS version. Okay, maybe restriction is there like without some sort of set of applications which is not there, then you will not be allowed, or that the company portal should be downloaded from the uh, genuine platform. So all these restrictions will be checked here. Okay, and once the restriction is followed, user is valid, having the valid license, restriction is okay on the device and user type, then Intune will give a stamp. Okay, then there will be a certificate issuance which will be performed here. Okay, and that issuance will give the device a certificate. Okay, that certificate, or that using that certificate, the device will have a device ID which will be created in Intune, and Intune will start showing this device. Okay, there is a SC online issuing certificate service. Okay, that is very crucial. That ensures that the communication between your Intune service and enrolled devices is happening, and there is an encryption, and there is all the subsequent communications which are happening in the background. Those all are secured and encrypted. Okay, and this is where the company compliance policy will be evaluated and checked, and this is where the flag will be given as is managed. Okay, and that will set to true, means everything is fine. Then the enrollment process will be successfully completed. Okay, so now let's go to
Uh,
the
so
validation log. Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
sometimes for the new device we get the invalid certificate error, and there is like sync policy failed or sync user failed error was showing. So that is during the validation and restrictions check, or it is like certificate is already
Actually, it happens when the user is already registered on that. Either he's having a company portal he's already have installed, or there is a certificate which is already in your iOS devices. Especially, it happens there is a management profile which is already there. Okay, so whenever you user is trying to re attempt for installation, okay, it will come as a user, the device is unable to enroll, or the device does not carry the certificate or something like that. He's not able to enroll again, so he will call service desk. In that options, in iOS especially, what we go to management profile, we delete the certificate. Okay, we delete the device from the enter ID. Okay, and then we ask users to uninstall the company portal, reinstall, download it again, and then start doing the enrollment process again. And that is how it will, again the new ID will be created. Okay, and then the certificate will be issued, and then user will start seeing the profile, and he sees that device is getting registered and user is having the right license, then it will be working fine. Okay.
Okay, yeah, got it. As of now, we are just deleting that enrollment registries.
Yes.
So,
No, so
okay,
in
got
that
it.
case, yeah, in that case, try deleting the device from the device enter ID, okay, from their
Mhm.
devices. Uninstall the company portal, okay. If there is any management profile, if you're dealing with iOS, then do uninstall that management profile as well. And then ask user to uninstall completely company portal, reinstall it, and then start doing the enrollment process again. Okay, it will work. Ensures there is no restriction as such for that user.
Yep, yep, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, any other question? So I was talking about the Intune logs. Okay, so like how many of you worked with these logs, company portal or MDM diag report? Yeah.
I just generated it via during the enrollment, but not it
Hmm.
is not have the better idea at how to validate the error and all those things.
Right. So if I say you are working on like a common type of issues or for the enrollment especially, okay, so these logs do help you identifying more about it. Okay, so if I say Intune management extension, there is Intune management extension.log. Okay, this is the main log, okay, which talks more about the app deployment and script executions especially. Okay, so if you're doing any scripts, or if you're doing any app deployment, okay, then do refer this Intune management extension.log. Okay, that is the one. And then there is the MDM diag report. Okay, so this log I'll show you in the portal as well. This log actually carries uh, more about your MDM enrollment, whatever it has captured, okay, during the enrollment and management, all these details, events, everything will be captured here, okay, in the MDM diag log. So these logs are essential when you're doing the troubleshooting. So MDM diag, if I tell you, if you're not able to get the MDM diag log, I'll show you if I have something opened here. I think, wait a second, let me switch it out from here. So if I go to this, okay, and if I go to devices, and if I go to Android, okay, so for example, this is the Android device, and I'm just willing to check what is happening, what is the problem with this. So I can connect a log for this. Okay, not sorry. I'll go to devices, go to Windows, and I'll open client one, which we recently when I checked, this is where you see the collect diagnostic. Okay, so this will, when you click on it, okay, it will download the entire diagnostic log, okay, for this device. And if you are doing it on your Windows, okay, so this is what I say, this is a command, okay, which I generated for this my own device, okay, mdm diagnostic tool.exe, and then there is an extension called area, and then device enrollment and slash cab, and this is the mdm diag.cab report. Okay, this is also the way of doing it. Plus, if you are doing it on system, okay, and I'm not sure if this device is managed or if I can show you all this. This is not part of it. I'll show you the device here. So one way you can directly go to the portal. Okay, you can generate a diagnostic log from there. Second thing, you can go to the console, okay, on the CMD, and you can run a command here. Okay, this command is, I'll simply paste it here. So you guys can also have it. Okay. So this is the one, and one way of directly going to the device and system. Okay. Okay. So this is where I go to accounts, access and work school. I don't think this is okay. This is joined, but okay. So this is where you can also get the advanced diagnostic report. Okay, you can click on create report, and this will show that this is going to export this in the documents MDM diagnostic. All right. These are the ways you can check it. One more thing is what you can do. You can go to uh, event viewer as well. Event viewer. So all this I'm talking about the Windows device, okay? I'm not talking about any other device. So if you go to application and services, okay, and wait, let it open. Okay, from here you go to Microsoft, okay, then you go to Windows, and this is where you need to look for the device management enterprise. Okay, let's go. So this is what I can see, device management enterprise diagnostic provider. Okay, this is what you can run, and this is all information you can see for the admin enrollment. Okay, so what is happening here on this, all this certificate policy response proceed, all these information will be coming here, right? And synchronization issues, if there is any happening, then you can see what is happening. Received OMA DM, all this OMA DM is there. Okay, all these information you can check it here. And one I talked about it, the log which you guys can refer here, which is program data Microsoft, then Intune management extension and logs. Okay, I'll show you on the same. Okay. This is, I'll do better. Let's just copy this and just paste it here. Okay. Okay, so I'll just paste it here. Okay, so this is where you see all type of logs which is available. So this is when you're doing a troubleshooting for Windows devices, you can do all these things. Okay, now let's talk about the Mac OS. Okay, so this is for Windows. I mean, mainly I designed this entire flow for the Windows troubleshooting and logs and Android, but I'll also refer where you should go for that. Let me create a duplicate here and delete all these and delete this as well, so you guys can better understand. Okay, so if you're doing this for Mac device, okay, so if you're doing a troubleshooting for Mac devices, for example, so this is where you go to location wise. This is where you can go to lib library, and from there you can go to logs, and then you go to Microsoft. Okay, and this is where you go to. Okay, there are two logs. Okay, key logs which you need to refer. Okay, which is the one which is very common, which is available for every this platform. Okay, this is called company portal.log. So this log is coming for company portal. Okay, it logs each and everything about the user. Okay, then the one which is called Intune MDM and T1. Okay, this is the log. This is also a log which refers about the MDM daemon processes, whatever is happening on the device. Okay, these things will come here. Now, for iOS, there is no logs which is directly accessible on the device. Why? Because there is a APN, which is Apple Configurator or Apple Console. Okay, so that is there in the in between. Okay, so alternatively, what we can do, we can use a Apple Business Manager. Okay, or we can do a integration for better diagnostic. There is no direct access for Mac OS or iOS. Okay, clear? And for your if you're talking about the Android, okay, Android device. So Android device, there is what I say, there is one logs which is collected via company portal. Okay, that is the location which you can easily look for the company portal, and you will look for the logs. Okay, in that logs you will get all sort of ADB logs, which is Android debug bridge. Okay, that will extract all those logs, but here the logs will not be directly accessed here by you. It will either be uploaded or sent to Microsoft directly. Okay, so in that logs, what we get the enrollment status. Okay, we get the compliance check, and we get the app deployment. Okay, these three things which we takes for the Android. Okay, so that's it. Android, don't be confused. So ADB is used, which is called Android debug bridge. Okay, and these logs are directly uploaded or sent to Microsoft from here. So these information, these are the logs which I thought of showing you. And one thing, let me see if I can show it on this device. If I have company portal, okay, I did not log in. Wait a second. Try logging in. Sign in. Okay, it was idle for some time. So what is the password? Sorry. That's next. I am admin. Okay, I hope it's correct. Okay, got the prompt. 48. Okay, so company portal details came here. Okay. Okay, so let me maximize it. Okay, so if I go to settings on the company portal, let me click on it. No, it seems like okay. Client one is mine. And photos, users, and administrator. I had run a report here. Where is it gone? Good, sorry, it's on my device, I believe, right? Yes, C temp. Okay, so this is a diagnostic report, okay, which I had run earlier, and this is talking about the, where is it gone? Event logs. Not associated with the printer right now. They're asking for extract. If I extract it, let me extract it on my desktop, maybe. Let's see. Desktop. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is the event log generated directly, and it's showing me all the enterprise level device management, whatever we have done. whatever the action, okay, which has been performed. So it talks about the policy setting process and everything is done. Enrollment process, enrollment ID is this, device type this. So all these information, MDM policy manager, all these information can be captured here. Okay, I'm more interested looking for the company portal log, but I don't think it's coming here. Under the program data, it should come here. It's not appearing right now, but it do check comes in the same place. Okay, and Intune management extension. Let me open it. Okay, this looks so weird. Okay. So I don't think we have any application deployment here, or we have any script or something like that, right? Device folders. Yeah, it says Windows. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay, token acquire exception attempt to get token failed. Okay, so this is AD user checks is failed, exception is Intune, extension failed, error message is this. Okay, so this is when we are trying to capture and enter the login credential. Okay, this is how it says the fallback to graph API audience. This an attempt was made to reference a token that does not exist. Okay, so all this information is here. So I believe like we did try entering the wrong password at time. Okay, failed to get endpoint from location service controller. This is the log. Then this is not needed. Then false expired. Fine. Telemetry job added. Okay, and then Intune extension. These are the policies. Okay, which I think that got fetched from the Intune side. Okay, and then I'll see if I can find company portal log, and I can show that in detail, but currently don't have anything. And in MDM diagnostic log, I'll also show you that. How does that look like? So these are the information more about the enrollment process, what has happened in behind the scenes. Okay, this is triggering all sort of I mean, like especially for the scripts and applications and all those stuff that we have pushed on this device. Okay, that will appear here in this log. This log is especially when you doing troubleshooting for an application failure or any policies or any script which has run that has been failing on some machines. We can definitely refer this log. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's create a diagnostic report here. Okay, let's create a report and let's have it generated. Okay, so public, wait a second, see, and go to users, then go to public document MDM diagnostic, and this is a report. Okay, let's open it. Okay, so this is how it looks like. This is more of talking about the computer name. Okay, what is the organization? Nothing. And this is coming from, this is the account which is logged in when this report was fetched. Okay, and user token, I think there was failure, we did try setting it up. Okay, what are the certificate installed? So there is Intune root authority certificate. You remember when we're doing a PKCS, we did this. Okay, and then there is a CA certificate installed, and there is a CA authority. So we did install these certificate from other CA's authorities, right? So these certificates are showing up here. Enrollment configuration resource and target sources. So these are the information when we're doing provisioning and all those stuff. Then MDM device, AD, happened. These are the policies, okay, which are here on this managed device, okay, and all these information. So this report is huge. It's log. If you see this uh, scrolling bar, okay, you can see lots of so many information, which I mean essentially we are not required, but it factors all those information together in a one file. Okay, so you do not refer to any other profile for any troubleshooting. This is the only one diagnostic report which can tell lots of things, and mainly when you're doing this with uh, troubleshooting with Microsoft, okay, they first they refer this log file only. Okay, and company portal log is especially only for the identifying who has logged in, what is the policies, and what was the license, and all those information. Okay, we'll check here. So this is everything that you can cover here in MDM DAG report. Okay, two things, two ways you can do it from Windows when you're doing the Intune. From there you can extract, or from the device directly you can interact on this extract, and you can work on this. All right, so that is, there is no blocked group policies. Okay, nothing is showing. If there is any group policy which is blocked or something, then it will show up here. Apart from it, this is a VM machine, and I've been doing multiple troubleshooting on this, so multiple time reset and all. So definitely you will not see that accurate information, but yes, when you're doing it on user's machine, definitely you'll have more crisp information, more concise and more detailed information about it, so that it will help you to troubleshoot further. Okay, so that was thing for today. Okay, next we will talk covering all these two together, and then we will move on to this part. Okay, we will try to cover this in this month, and then we'll start for the interview preparation. Okay, so everyone, I mean, it is just not, I'm not forcing anyone to go for the interviews. If you are stick with the organization, if you're doing well, go with that. If not, then certainly try if you are looking forward, because I heard a couple of scenarios where the projects uh, getting ramped down, or there is a cost cutting happening. Okay, this is where you need to work on yourself, polish your skill, and get the offer letters. I will also tell you how to negotiate on the offers, how to get the right offer, what things do you check in the offer letter. Okay, and lots of things which are there in the background, and how do you convince yourself to your manager or to your organization, so you will be better negotiated on the first piece, and where you should not negotiate, where you should drop the offer maybe at certain circumstances. So I'll tell you each and everything. Meanwhile, just start working on your resume, and do send me if you want me to review it and update if anything is needed from my side. Otherwise, we are good. We'll run for the interview preparation from the next week onwards, next or next to next week onwards. Okay, so that's all from my side today. And last thing, just to seeking your help here. If you guys have not subscribed, please subscribe. Do watch all those videos, which especially demos are not available, because demos I have kept restricted, but all those videos which are essential, I'm keep on working on it. So whenever I'm getting time, I'm trying to upload this. So do check. And that's it from my side. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your active participation. I really appreciate. And if any doubts, any questions, any hiccups, any confusion, any help is required, please connect me directly over WhatsApp, or you can call me directly.
Thank you, Vaibhav.
Vaibhav, after this, can we talk?
Yep.
This?
Yes, Vimla. Yes, we can certainly.
Yeah, but yeah.
You can call me on my number.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.